Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a peaceful small town called Millbrook, where the morning fog is so thick it swallows everything, concealing humanity's darkest secrets. On a gloomy Wednesday morning in February, a bone-chilling cold enveloped the air, transforming the bare, ancient trees into shadowy specters. In that eerie silence, a young woman was jogging, her breath turning into white plumes of smoke, completely unaware that death was hurtling towards her from behind.
A car tore through the fog, speeding like a wild beast out of control, its roaring engine shattering the morning's tranquility. A horrific, brutal collision flung the unfortunate woman off the road, leaving her lying motionless on the cold ground, alone and in pain. The hit-and-run vehicle did not stop. It quickly vanished into the dense fog, as if it had never existed, abandoning the victim on the fragile boundary between life and death, initiating a bloody tragedy.
The incident initially appeared to be a typical hit-and-run accident, an unfortunate but random occurrence often seen on evening news reports. But, my friends, as the fog lifted and the light of truth began to seep in, veteran detectives were shocked to realize this was no mere misfortune. Behind that cold body lay a tangled web of betrayal, hatred, and humanity's basest desires, where love had been twisted into a sharp blade.
To understand this tragedy, we must go back in time to learn about Oliver Hook, the man considered the Prince of Millbrook. Born into luxury with a renowned lawyer father and an aristocratic mother, Oliver grew up believing the world owed him admiration. From a young age, he was a genius, a valedictorian, a football team captain, a man with a smile that could melt any icy heart, a flawless, perfect archetype.
But ladies and gentlemen, that perfection was merely an exquisitely crafted mask designed to conceal a rotten soul within. Oliver was in fact a narcissistic, cold, and calculating individual who viewed those around him as mere pawns on his chessboard of ambition. He knew nothing of love. To him, relationships were merely tools to climb higher on the social ladder, and women were just ornaments to adorn his grandiose ego.
As his wild youth passed, Oliver realized he needed a perfect family to launch his rapidly rising political and business career. He needed a conventional wife, a woman who could stand by his side at fundraising dinners, enhancing his image of success. And he set his sights on Taylor Tanner, a beautiful, gentle elementary school teacher, daughter of a respected doctor, an innocent victim, completely unaware she was stepping into a tiger's den. Taylor loved Oliver with a pure and blind devotion, believing she was the luckiest woman in the world to have caught the eye of this prince. She was overwhelmed by the lavish gifts, romantic candlelit dinners, and sweet promises Oliver whispered to her daily. Taylor had no idea that while playing the role of the perfect lover with her, Oliver was maintaining a secret life full of debauchery with other women. In the shadows of Oliver's life appeared Clay Reeves, a woman completely opposite to Taylor's innocence, possessing the deadly allure of mystery. Clay had an unhappy childhood, growing up in orphanages, her soul scarred by abandonment, and a burning desire for love. She was intelligent and sharp, but extremely unstable psychologically, constantly living in fear that she would be discarded by the world once more. Oliver and Clay met on a business project, and immediately the resonance between two individuals craving power and desire drew them together like two magnets. Clay saw in Oliver the image of a savior, a peaceful harbor she had sought her entire stormy life. She plunged into this illicit affair like a moth to a flame, despite knowing Oliver was engaged to Taylor, believing his lie that he would soon break off the engagement. The greedy Oliver Hook did not want to choose. He wanted to possess both women as his personal spoils. To Taylor, he was the exemplary, gentle fiancé. To Clay, he was the passionate lover, always complaining about his unhappy arranged marriage. He manipulated both women psychologically, spinning them around in his palm, reveling in the feeling of power as two beautiful women vied for his affection.
This bizarre love triangle became even more twisted when Taylor, with her kind heart, wanted to befriend Clay, seeing her loneliness. Imagine the suffocating irony when the fiancé invited her husband's secret lover to lunch, sharing stories about the upcoming wedding. Clay was forced to play the role of a good friend, but within her, every word from Taylor felt like needles pricking a bleeding wound, igniting a furious jealousy.
As time passed, Oliver and Taylor's wedding day approached like a death sentence for Clay's fragile hope. She began to pressure Oliver, demanding he make their relationship public, but he only responded with delays and empty promises. Despair began to gnaw at Clay's mind, turning love into a poison. She gradually realized she was being pushed to the periphery of the man she adored. The wedding took place on a beautiful autumn day, the entire town of Millbrook joyfully congratulating the golden couple. But a silent figure stood outside the church. Clay Reeves hid in a secluded corner, her eyes red-rimmed, watching Oliver exchange vows with another woman, her heart shattering into tiny pieces. In that moment, love died in Clay, giving way to a demon of hatred and a desire for possession that surged stronger than ever. After the wedding, Clay fell into a state of depression and paranoia. She could not accept that she had lost this game of love. She began to obsess over Taylor, wondering what the other woman had that she didn't, why she deserved happiness while Clay did not. Clay started following Taylor, from school to the supermarket to the park, meticulously documenting her rival's every routine with the precision of a predator. Clay's small house transformed into a den of madness, with 4 walls covered in photos of Taylor, torn or with her eyes blacked out. She drew intricate connecting lines, analyzing Taylor's every gesture, every smile, trying to find a weakness to exploit. In Clay's deranged mind, only one thought remained. Taylor had to disappear for Oliver to be hers forever. The intention to kill initially flashed through her mind, but gradually it coalesced into a cruel and specific plan. Clay believed Taylor's death would be a liberation for Oliver from the unhappy marriage he often complained about. She deluded herself into thinking she was doing a good deed, sacrificing her clean hands to foster their future happiness. The cold winter passed, giving way to deadly calculations. Clay decided to stage a hit-and-run accident to deceive everyone. She meticulously studied Taylor's morning jogging route, calculating the time of densest fog to act undetected. Clay even prepared a stolen car and a fake alibi. Everything was planned perfectly, down to the smallest detail. The night before the fateful day, Clay stood before the mirror, looking at her gaunt face, wondering if she had the courage to take a life. But the image of Oliver happy with Taylor reappeared, burning away any remaining conscience within her, turning her into a cold-blooded killing machine. She whispered to herself that tomorrow, when the sun rose, all suffering would end, and she would once again be Oliver's queen. And then that fateful Wednesday morning arrived, when thick fog covered Millbrook like a giant shroud, signaling death. Taylor jogged along the deserted road, her breathing steady, completely unaware that these were the last breaths of her short life. Clay sat in the car, her hands gripping the steering wheel until her knuckles were white, her heart pounding in her chest as she saw Taylor's yellow figure emerge in the fog. Without a moment's hesitation, Clay pressed the accelerator. The car shot forward like an arrow of death, aiming straight for the innocent woman jogging ahead. A dry thud echoed. Taylor was flung into the air, falling onto the road like a broken doll, blood beginning to stain the cold pavement red. Clay dared not look back. She drove away in extreme panic, leaving behind a brutal scene and a life just taken. News of Taylor's death shocked the entire town. Everyone was stunned and grieved for the unfortunate young teacher who met such a tragic accident. Oliver played the role of the grieving husband brilliantly. He wept bitterly at the funeral, moving everyone to tears. But deep down, Oliver probably felt relieved, as his wife's death meant he would inherit all her assets and a huge life insurance payout. Police initially believed it was a hit and run, but Detective Leah Moncrief, with her keen intuition, felt something was amiss. She began to delve into the relationships of those around the victim and gradually uncovered cracks in Oliver's perfect family facade. Conflicting testimonies, gaps in schedules, and Oliver's strange demeanor led her to seriously question the widower. Meanwhile, Clay lived in anxious suspense, both fearing discovery by the police and hoping Oliver would return to her now that the obstacle was gone. But day after day, Oliver remained silent. He even avoided Clay, not answering her calls or messages. Clay began to notice Oliver's coldness, and a new fear crept in. Had she been deceived once again? Oliver was now busy cultivating the image of a charming and wealthy bachelor. He enjoyed his freedom and immense fortune. He had no intention of returning to Clay, a woman he considered troublesome and dangerous, a pawn whose usefulness had expired. Oliver's cruelty was even more terrifying than Clay's act of murder, for it was the ultimate coldness of a heart devoid of emotion. Unable to bear the silence, Clay decided to go to Oliver's office late one night to demand a satisfactory answer for her sacrifice. As she secretly peered through the window, the scene inside shattered her heart once more, pushing her into the abyss of despair. Oliver was embracing another woman, a beautiful young stranger, right there in his office. That woman was Olivia Chen, a promising young lawyer who had just started at the firm, the latest victim on Oliver's conquest list. Clay realized the true face of the philanderer. He had never loved her, nor had he ever loved Taylor. He only loved himself and his base desires. Rage erupted. Clay burst into the room, screaming and accusing Oliver, exposing all the crimes she had committed for him. The fiery argument between the two was accidentally overheard by Olivia, who was hiding in the break room, stunned by the horrifying secrets just revealed. Olivia, an intelligent and courageous woman, quickly realized she was facing cold-blooded murderers, not colleagues. She secretly recorded the conversation, gathering evidence that Oliver knew and possibly instigated Clay to cause his wife's death. After Clay left in tears, Olivia decided she could not remain silent. She began to investigate Oliver and his shady activities more deeply on her own. She discovered that Oliver was not only a philanderer, but also a financial fraudster, embezzling funds and laundering money for years. Olivia gathered all the evidence, from audio recordings to financial records, preparing for an overthrow of this powerful but corrupt man. That night, Olivia returned to the office to confront Oliver. She placed all the evidence on the table and demanded he surrender to the law. Oliver, cornered, revealed himself as a monster. He no longer maintained his usual charm, but became ferocious. He lunged at Olivia, determined to silence the only witness who could destroy his life and career. In that moment of life and death, Olivia remembered the image of Taylor lying dead on the cold road. She knew that if she didn't act, she would be the next victim. She drew the small pistol she always carried for self-defense, and a sharp bang echoed, ending the sinful life of Oliver Hook. He collapsed in a pool of blood, his eyes wide open, as if unable to believe he had been brought down by a woman he despised. Police rushed to the scene. Olivia calmly surrendered the weapon and evidence, feeling a strange relief despite knowing she would face the law. Clay Reeves, upon hearing of Oliver's death, completely collapsed and surrendered at the police station, confessing to her entire act of murder. A shocking case concluded with the death of the mastermind and a life sentence for the perpetrator of the crime. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of these four individuals is a painful tragedy of greed, betrayal, and the blind illusions of love. It reminds us that behind closed doors, perfect smiles, and glamorous lives, unfathomable dark abysses can hide. Never let appearances deceive you, and remember that the price of cruelty is always more expensive than anything you can imagine. This life is short and fragile. Instead of chasing fleeting desires and losing your humanity, cherish what is most genuine beside you. Because when the fog dissipates, the only thing of eternal value
is not money or fame, but peace of mind and warm human connection. Live so that when you close your eyes, you do not regret the stains you have inadvertently or intentionally left on this life.